Welcome, Oceansiders are here at Daytona Beach Boardwalk for a little bit of a history lesson. So we start this history lesson starting here at Breakers Oceanfront Park. So here at the Breakers Oceanfront Park, back in 1920, there used to be a landmark that was here at this specific spot. Now this used to be called Pep's Pool in Daytona Beach. From 1925 to 1948, for 23 years, it stood here until it was demolished. Pretty amazing. So the pool boasted a 100-foot by 60-foot pool of salt water, and it was 325,000 gallons of water, guys. Can you imagine a giant pool sitting right here on this property? Now, during this time, back after 1920 and 1925, they actually constructed the pier, which you're going to go check out next. Stay tuned. So currently this is what the boardwalk looks like, circa 2025. But we're going to go give a little bit more history on that later on in the video. And then here is the beach area right here. And then brings us to Joe's Crab Shack. Now right here at Joe's Crab Shack, back when Pep's was still around, or was erected in 1920, this was housed casino and bathhouses inside. Pretty interesting. And then from all the way down to where you see the lights and stuff are there, where you go across the walkway to the boardwalk, all the way from there, and then all the way down this way, past the opening you see there, all the way down to the end of the pier. There was a sky ride, guys, that would go over the ocean and would go across here, and then go all the way down the boardwalk, which goes all the way down here. We'll go down here and check it out. Now the ride was put in 1966, and then they discontinued it in 2006. They took it apart and dismembered it. So, as you can see, this goes on quite a ways. A lot of people like to fish out here, but could you imagine coming out on one of those sky rides out here in the beautiful ocean, being able to see everything in the ocean, all the sharks and stuff, and then going and riding all the way back down that way. All right, we're gonna go check out the boardwalk, tell you a little more history. So there were a lot of rides that did exist here at the Daytona Beach Boardwalk. Now these are the only two that do exist. Any further is the Slingshot and the Vomitron. Now they did have the Ferris wheel, the Hurricane, the Tilt-A-Whirl, go-karts, Sandblaster roller coaster. I have a story about the Sandblaster roller coaster, the issue that happened with that. But these are the only two that actually do exist here anymore. But I'm going to go down to the X location of all the other rides that were constructed back in the day. So here we are back on the boardwalk with Pizza King and the Smoke Shop there, and Michael's on the beach. And you notice that's where I was standing, right over that direction, close to the pier, actually on the pier. And then next to Michael's on the beach, that's basically where you get all t-shirts and souvenirs. And then you have a Mardi Gras Ice Cream and Fun Center, which is basically an arcade. You can get all kinds of things in there. And they have like old school games like skee ball and things like that that are over there as well. So we're standing here right off the backside of the Hilton, off to the west side of the boardwalk. And if you notice out there where there are some pipes that are hanging off the wall there used to be a business that was right here, had his little souvenir shop that has since been demolished. And then right about here is where the Ferris wheel was, when they did have the Ferris wheel here. And then also down the way they had a tilt-a-whirl somewhere in that area. The go-karts were like way off to the left side there, over by the purple wall that you see over there. And then they had what was called the sandblaster. So the sandblaster stood behind, closer to that wall, the wall over there, and then ran the length down this way to about where you see those posts sticking up, where you can enter the beach that way, or enter from the parking lot there. So going back in history, in July 14th in 2018, there were 2 riders that fell off this thing. Imagine 34 feet and 6 people injured because one of the carts derailed from the roller coaster. Actually, I had the fire department out here that went up and grabbed them from the cars. Just 2 people were hanging from there, and then they got the rest of the people out of the other carts that were stranded up there. But that is just, I couldn't imagine being up there in that roller coaster. But by no big surprise, they took the roller coaster down in 2018. Now this thing was here when we moved here in 2015, I remember. But as soon as they took the Ferris wheel out and the roller coaster, and they used to have the go-kart ride that was over there, way over by the purple wall over there, they soon took that out as well. And now this is all just one piece of blank property, and I have no idea what they have in store for building in here. That's a dang shame, man, that they had to take all that stuff out. But a roller coaster that's not acting properly and people falling off of it from 34 feet, that's not ideal. So I totally understand why they took it all out. So during 1938, there are several embellishments made with coquina rock being the primary building material. And this is one of the most famous, is the clock tower here at Daytona Beach. Now if you notice, the clock tells time, but it's not your normal time face. It doesn't have the 12 through 11 back to 12 type of face on that clock face. It says Daytona Beach instead, which is pretty cool. This was constructed back and has been here since 1938. So let's go check out some of the other structures that they did construct during that time frame. So this brings us to another construction made of coquina rock that was constructed in 1938 as well, the same as the clock tower we just saw. Now if you notice, they have constructed these nice looking walls here to the entrance, these little pillars here. So we're going to go straight up, walk up here and check out the band shell, which is straight ahead. Now a lot of bands have played here. I've done actually a video on the MTV, you know, being out here during the like late 80s, 90s, during that time. And I'll put a link of that video down below. But if you notice, not only do we have that, but we do have construction all the way around this. That leads out to the beach and to the ocean that way. And then spinning around is where I just came from. That will take you down. And then to the left, you would go to the boardwalk, walking along the beach. Pretty stinking cool. Now they do Star Spangled Banner summer concerts out here, which is basically cover bands of famous bands like Journey, Bad Company, Aerosmith, you know, other Tom Petty, I think they've done here before, but Foreigner, you know, all those kinds of bands. They we'll have that up here at Star Spangled Banner Summer, and every Saturday night. And then Saturday night, after the concert is done, they will shoot fireworks off in this direction here. And then they also have vendors that you could buy stuff here, like, you know, like finger food, like cheeseburgers, Philly steaks, and cheese curds and Italian sausage. Anyways, and there's a bird. And then the ocean out there, where I should be, because it is a sweltering 96 degrees today. Well, with the dew point probably like, I think that's what it's making it to be, like 100 and something. Yay! So I've been sweating out here all day, guys, so give this a thumbs up and like this video, because I've been out here sweating my balls off. Anyways, there is the Hilton down here, this part of the Hilton down here, and then also they have some restaurants here in the Plaza building, shop building here, and then you have the Plaza Hotel and condos up over here. Now, going back in history, imagine this. All of this in the early days, obviously, did not exist. And all that was here, possibly, is this building in 1938. And then all the way back, I don't know if you can see it from here. No, I can't see it from here, but back that way was the clock tower that we were at. That was here in 1938. It is something to behold, or it's pretty amazing how none of this existed. And from here you could see all the way out to the road, or the trees, or the houses that people lived there. So that's pretty wild. But during that time, back in 1920s, there were residents here were like 6,841. Currently, the census is showing 89,290 people that live here now. That is super incredible. All the way back from, I don't know, I guess hundreds of years ago. Back from the 20s, back from to today. This is so crazy. But anyways, ending it here at the band shell, directly behind me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell and the notification. Turn those on so that you know when we're making another video. But love you guys. Comment down below if anything else you may want me to review on. But there was actually a commenter that commented down below on the MTV video that I did, and was explaining how the things back in the history, how things were, and things were better before they came and redid this whole thing here at the Boardwalk. So I thought it was a pretty interesting comment, so I went ahead and was like, that would be cool to do a history lesson on how the Boardwalk was built up and how it was constructed, or what it used to look like. Anyways, love you guys. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye. Bonus footage. It's going to show you some of the shops in here. Dick's Class Resort. There's Mai Tai. Johnny Rockets. Best stinking burgers and shakes you can ever get. And then over here to our left, I don't know if you can see it, but it is Bubba Gump's. You can see the suitcase. There's the suitcase and the shoes right there from Forrest Gump. And then also we have Maui Nick's over here, a surf shop. Then directly behind, you can see there's a Sunglasses Hut back behind this purple building. Cold Stone Creamery. And street tacos up on the top level. A wing house. Rocket Fizz shop So it's Soda Pop and Candy Shop. And then also, oh, there's the sunglasses on right there in the corner.